Hello friends, today I am going to discuss about the classification of data structure. In my earlier video, I have discussed about what is data structure and why data structure is so important. And in this video, we will learn about the classification of data structure. Data structures are classified into two broad categories. The first one is primitive data structure and second one is non-primitive data structure. Primitive data structure. Primitive data structure is nothing but it is a fundamental data structure, whereas non-primitive data structure is a user-defined data structure which can be built by using the primitive data structure. We use primitive data structures to store a data into a computer memory having single entity. And if we want to store a single entity data into the computer memory, we use primitive data structure. But if we want to store a group of entity having the similar type or having different type, we use non-primitive data structure. Primitive data structure. Primitive data structures are fundamental data structures which hold single kind of entity. And the data structures that can be manipulated directly by machine instructions is called primitive data structure. Example of primitive data structure is integer, character, float, and etc. Non-primitive data structure. Non-primitive data structures are derived from primitive data structure. These data structures are used to store group of values. Example: a struct, array, linked list, a stack, tree, graph, etc. Suppose if we want to store a roll number of one student, then we use primitive data structures like integer type. But if we want to store the roll number of multiple students like 10 students, then we use non-primitive data structures like array. And non-primitive data structures is further classified into two types, that is linear data structure and non-linear data structure. Linear data structures is a data structure in which the elements are sequentially arranged or linearly arranged. In non-linear data structures, uh, data elements are not sequentially or linearly arranged. The data elements are randomly arranged in non-linear data structure. Here, linear data structure in which data elements are arranged sequentially or linearly, where each element is attached to its primitive and next adjacent element is called linear data structure. Example of linear data structures are array, stacks, linked list, queue, etc. And nonlinear data structure. Nonlinear data structure where data elements are not placed sequentially or linearly are called nonlinear data structure. In nonlinear data structures, we can't traverse all the elements in a single run only. Example of nonlinear data structures are tree and graph. And further, linear data structures are classified into two types, that is static data structure and dynamic data structure. Static data structures are fixed memory size. It is easier to access the elements in a static data structure. The example of a static data structures is array. And dynamic data structures. In dynamic data structure, the size is not fixed. It can be randomly updated during the runtime, which may be considered efficient concerning the memory space complexity of the code. Example of dynamic data structures are queue, stack, etc. The example of a static data structures is array, and dynamic data structures is linked list, stack, and queue. And nonlinear data structures, the examples are tree and graph. And I hope this video is helpful for you. Thanks for watching.